Good evening. I'm in a very, very giddy mood. Very giddy, dangerously giddy. Feel for Paul at Sheffield Distillery. He's about to chat with me. How are we, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday. Why have I not said that before? I've been doing this for nearly 18 months. Why have I never used the phrase welcome to Wednesday? Amateur. It's gin and tonic time, folks. Grab a gin. How are we? What are we doing? You can see a picture behind me. What are we doing on this lovely Wednesday evening? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm drinking a new gin. Feel the excitement and the energy around drinking. Look, an unlabeled mini. Not going to lie, can't lie, crap at lying. I've already swigged it twice, actually, once just on Instagram a moment ago. And I'm very, very happy. Very happy, very excited. Hello, lovely. It is from Sheffield Distillery, and the magician. He looks a little bit like a magician, like an urban magician, though. Maybe like a Texan magician. You'll see what I mean in a moment. The lovely Paul from Sheffield Distillery is going to be chatting. Hi, Sam. You said this was a local distillery to you. Where are you? Where in the world are you? So that's exciting. We're going to have a chat with Paul and I'm going to showcase the range. I have just said to Paul's just said, well, you've got some, where's the vodka? And I'm like, oh, shit. It was really good. We drank it. This is the problem. You get sent this beautiful stuff and we talk about it. We love it. And then we like it. And so we consume it because we're humans and we drink alcohol. So yeah, I have just had to say to Paul, hashtag sorry, not that sorry. It's really good. You shouldn't make it good. Shouldn't make it award-winning, should you? No, but let's tell him that. Paul, what I'm going with is you shouldn't make it good, because if you make it good, people are going to drink it.
Yeah, that's the issue. I make it for me to drink.
And that's the reason my husband and I said never run a pub, because we'll just drink it all. Happy welcome to Wednesday.
Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming me onto your fantastic little members club.
Thanks. You're very welcome.
It's not so little anymore by all accounts.
It's not so little anymore. It's doing all right. We're cracking on. So tell us, I feel like I should hold, like I did joke to you that we're going to do a generation, like an old school. Is Generation Game still on, Paul?
I've no idea. I never watched it when I was a kid.
Bruce is dead, isn't he? Yeah. So he doesn't do it.
Jim Davison did it at one point, didn't he?
Did he?
I don't know. I could be wrong.
What you could have won. I told you I was in a giddy mood. Hey, this is good, isn't it? I had a sip of this. This is nice. Hi, anyway. Educate the world or the people that are watching and will watch and replay about Sheffield Distillery. Where are you?
Sheffield.
Yes.
We are based in the beer garden of a sort of real ale and specialist spirits pub in the suburbs.
You're in a beer garden?
Yeah, we're in a beer garden, yeah.
Oh my god, so you really can't get away from the booze then. So you're making it in a location. So when you made it, the first time you made it, and you thought, I wonder where we could sell this. Who will take our stock? Oh, those guys just there.
Fortunately, I'm the assistant manager of the pub.
Oh.
And the person who's one of the directors is also the landlord of the pub. It all came about through having different spirits tasting evenings, and why can't we do this ourselves, kind of thing.
Okay.
There's over 200 different whiskies and over 100 different gins behind the bar, and it's all a bit crazy, really. For a little pub in the suburbs, it's something you'd expect in the centre of town.
I was just going to say, this is not
a
city.
Lots of speedboats. I'm just reading.
This is Brian. Where's the speedboat? I can offer you a pack of Sharpies, Brian, to continue the Generation Game theme. There's a lot of random stuff on this desk. So you're not in the city centre of Sheffield, where you would expect it to be like a bar and lots of things. You're in the countryside or in a remote area.
There are lots of chimney pots. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Sounds like code, but it's not. It's
lots of houses, suburb, commuter belt, that kind of area. The kind of place that people go after they've had a day at work and they want a bit of a drink.
Lots of gin drinkers, gin purchases.
Gin, whiskey, vodka, real ale, lager, all that. You know, we cover all bases pretty much.
So, how did you get started then? Which came first, the pub or the distillery?
Definitely the pub.
Right.
The landlord of the pub's been there nearly 30 years now.
Oh, right. God, that's nice, isn't it? Right.
And we do sort of regular spirit tasting events. There was quite a few, one after the other, and after a few inebriated evenings on a Tuesday, we decided that it was a really good idea at 11 o'clock at night that we would set up a distillery ourselves.
We can do this. We've got this. What were you doing as a day job at the point where you were like, yeah, screw that, we're going to do a distillery? What were you doing as a day job?
Myself as assistant manager at the pub.
Oh, pub, right.
One of the other lads, one of the other directors, he's a brewer.
So we've got quite a relevant skill set mix going on.
Yeah, so we kind of bit of a nice base to kick off from.
So when was this then? What year was this, and what did you start with?
We decided to do it in sort of autumn 2016.
Oh, well, it's a while then.
We then registered the company in March 2017.
Right.
It then took us an HMRC, 18 months to grant us the licenses.
Yeah.
To make stuff. So we started production in September 2018.
Yeah, officially.
Officially,
yeah. And what was first? Vodka, gin? What was your first product?
Gin, actually. Our first test gin. Yeah, our first test gin was I used to say it was vodka, but then I looked back through the distilling sheets and found that I actually distilled the gin first. I got a bit giddy and decided just screw it, let's go for it.
So you've called this, right, this is one of the things I want to ask you about. So we started with gin. How many have you got now in your range? How many gins do you have?
In the standard range, there's 4.
Okay. And then
which I think you've got or did have in a miniatures pack. The licorice is part of that.
Licorice, the original.
London Dry, yeah. Then there's the rhubarb and custard.
That's it, rhubarb and custard.
The St. Clements.
Nice. So original 4. Which one went first? The London Dry went first, yeah?
Yeah, London Dry was the one that we did a lot of test runs on, a lot of trial and error. And I was basically waiting until I got it where I went, yes, this is what I want to do. And then everything else kind of comes off that.
Have you been a gin drinker for ages anyway? Was this something you did these tasting nights at the pub, but were you personally a gin drinker or a gin collector, or was it just something you thought, okay, I've been trying lots of this stuff through work, I think there's an opportunity here?
I've always really liked gin. I've tended to be more of the whiskey side of things,
right?
But I've never been one of those whiskey snobs that's shunned other spirits. Apart from Pernod and Pastiche, I hate Pernod Pastiche. but yeah, gin's always been. I've always liked really good gins. So Plymouth, especially Navy strength gins.
Yeah.
Sipsmiths, I've got a really soft spot for Sipsmiths. I think the processes they use are some of the best in the business. And I wanted to sort of take some of their ideas and processes and introduce some of my own flavors to it. So, we steep our botanicals the day before distilling, and that's straight out of Sipsmiths.
Okay, well, if you're going to copy someone, I think fair shout, to be honest.
Yeah.
This range, and I've been meaning to ask you this since we first spoke ages ago. What does assay or assay mean? Why is it everywhere?
Assay refers to the assay mark or hallmark. Most people know it as. So when anything gets sent to an assay office, we tend to refer to it in a metallurgical sense. So cutlery, jewellery, whatever it may be. What's the BBC thing where they send lots of Antiques Roadshow, and they look at the stamps on the back back of a piece of metal, for example, it's been assayed. It's had a test of purity to it, test of quality.
That's a good name, isn't it?
The assay mark, which you'll find on all our bottles, is the Sheffield assay mark. There are 4 offices now in Britain. One of them is Sheffield, a long heritage of metalworking, especially stainless steel, nickel plating, silver work, that kind of stuff. The others are Birmingham, London, and Edinburgh. And early on, we approached the assay master. That is his name, his title anyway. His name's Ashley Carson. He's a lovely guy. And said, look, we want to do this. We want to promote Sheffield as part of our brand. Can we use the Sheffield assay stamp? I said, oh, it's a bit odd. I've never been asked that before, but
no, then
I suppose, yeah, why not? And it cost us the princely sum of a bottle of gin.
No. So now, wait a minute. So when you say, and is that what it is? The flower?
That's a facsimile of it. If you look on the bottles, I've got one here. It's backwards, but where the ABV is, there's a little.
Oh yeah.
Little rose.
Yeah.
That's the assay mark for Sheffield, and then the ABV is in what they know as date stamps. So each piece of metal, each year that it's assayed, will have its own individual date stamps.
I never knew. So the different assays for London, Edinburgh, Birmingham, Sheffield, is it still a flower but a different colour, or is it all really different? Like it's
no, so ours is the Sheffield is a Tudor rose. You've got the crown, the crown, which is London. I can't remember. I think it's
London.
The anchor, which is Birmingham,
right.
And then the leopard. I think the crown, I think, is Edinburgh, and the leopard is London, I think. And then
has anyone else used them? Because that's a really good idea. I didn't know about the word assay.
Chester did have an assay office until 1970-ish, approximately. But then they closed the office down because it wasn't doing the level of work that it needed to be doing. So.
Has anyone used the assay, in their brand gin in the spirits world that you've seen? Is there an assay? Because you're Sheffield Distillery Co., right? But has anybody else used the word assay that you know of?
Not as far as we're aware. People have used. There is a hallmark gin.
I've heard of that.
It's not in production anymore, but we decided to avoid that just through trademarking and copywriting. We didn't want to go through all the rigmarole of dealing with that. So we went for the actual proper name for the stamp itself, which is, and the office is an assay office.
Right.
And on every bottle on the side, it gives you a little breakdown as to what assay means.
Yeah. I never realised that, because I'm rubbish. Anyway, so tell us. You told me at the beginning that you said, "Oh, I'm happy." I said, "Anything you don't want to talk about," and you were like, "I'm happy to talk about the fire," of which I went, or the accident. So did you say accident? Of which I went.
Incident, whichever way you want to put it.
Incident. Of which I went. What, the gincident? What was the gincident then? What happened?
We were making it. We were making St Clement's gin, or I was making St Clement's gin. It was the beginning of the first lockdown, or partway through it anyway, and it was very, very hot. And for whatever reason, our little cestil, which was made by one of the barmen in the pub, actually, is a coppersmith. It decided to force the top off under pressure and sprayed me with 80 degrees C ethanol, and then that ignited. So if you've seen the album cover from Dark Side of the Moon band.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I'm also wanting to say any horror film ever.
Yeah, the bloke studying the album Set on Fire. That was basically me for a little bit of time.
Wow.
So I ended up in Wakefield regional burns unit for about 10 weeks, 2 weeks in a coma.
2 weeks in a coma?
Yeah.
Jesus, Paul.
Pink Floyd. Yeah, somebody's got it.
Pink Floyd, Lorna, Tina.
2 weeks in a coma, second and third degree burns to 41% of my body. And yeah, if it had been older and shorter, I probably would be. The NHS are amazing.
Yes, we know, we agree, and you have had to walk through the hands-on experience to witness that firsthand. And I bet I don't even ask what the health and safety exec said. I mean, what happened?
They did a full, assessment of it all, and basically it was a freak accident. You'll find that, especially in Scotch whisky distilleries, there aren't many distilleries in Scotland that haven't had a fire.
Right.
I mean, I think Ardbeg on Isla's had about 5. Well, one of those was created by the HMRC to get rid of it, but there's not many distilleries in Scotland that haven't had a fire. They split. They send casks to each other just in case one goes up. They don't lose all the stock. Fortunately, most of those haven't had people involved in it. It's just one of those things.
Just one of those things. So when did you come out of hospital then? June, July last year?
July. It was the day before my wife's birthday. It was a day after the first lockdown finished. It was the day before my wife's birthday.
I can only imagine your poor wife. I mean, there's an upside. We get gin. Yay! My husband's a distiller. He owns an award-winning distillery. Woo! Oh, there's a fire, and he's got 41% body of his covered in burns. Boo.
We'd also just had a baby on the 12th of April as well.
Christ, Paul!
Yeah, it was a bit of an odd time, to be honest.
Bit of an odd time. Okay, so I'm guessing during that time, production slowed down.
Just a bit, yeah.
Just a little bit. Oh my goodness. Okay, right. So we're through that. NHS are amazing. Your wife had her birthday. Your baby, a little boy or a little girl. What did you?
Little girl, yeah. She's
now 1 and a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Is your wife a gin lover? Is she a chief taster, or does she know? Because the amount of times I hear, it's like, no, she's not. She's either in or she's not in.
She's teetotal.
This is what I mean.
But
you're joking.
But she has a good nose, so if I give her stuff and she goes, I like that. I like the smell of that. Then I know it's going to be a decent one.
It's probably. I mean, is it a good thing that she's teetotal? Because I'm going to guess you're not.
I'll make up for it.
Right. Okay. So it's two for the price of one. So which is your favourite from your range? So you've got the London Dry, St Clement's, licorice, and the rhubarb and custard in the gins. Which is well, wait a minute. And when did the rose hip and crabapple launch?
21st of September. It was on the autumn equinox.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Because
I saw your post. Just explain that post for me. Explain that post whilst I drink it and we talk about what it's like.
Which post was that? Just remind me.
The autumn equinox. Because I remember you. So just remind me what the autumn equinox is. Is something to do with the longest day of the year? Shortest day.
That's the summer equinox.
Oh, which
is it's the autumn equinox is the change between summer and autumn. Basically, it's now the lights are starting to get a lot longer. Moving forward to winter. So yeah, we decided to launch it on the actual equinox itself.
That's it.
Karen, our social media.
That's what I read. That's what I read.
Karen Layton, our social media guru, is logged on. I've just seen her.
Good one. Well done, Karen. Thank you.
Yes, Sam Heaton's one of our sort of regular purchasers, and days and nights of equal length. There you go.
There we go. Your
Give me the answer.
your followers and drinkers know their stuff. So tell us about the rose hip and crabapple. How did you make it? How long's it been in the pipeline? Because it's very, very nice, and it's very expensive, I think, as well. Actually,
so I'm quite a bit of a planner, so I like to come up with ideas for, especially the limited editions and whatnot.
Is this one a limited edition?
This is a limited edition. There's 137 bottles that we made.
All right.
That's it.
That's it. Not to be done again.
No, not for a few years anyway. If we do decide to do it again.
Is it a pain in the bum to make?
Not particularly.
No.
The ingredients are, the crab apples are a bit of a pain to source. Luckily, there's a tree across the road from the pub that's quite fruitful.
That's Paul. Usually, when someone says they're a pain to source, they're talking about like importing juniper from Italy, and you're like, pain to source. There's a crabapple tree across the road. Like, oh.
The ladders aren't quite tall enough, and the ground's a bit wobbly.
I thought they were quite hard to distill apples and crab apples. I thought that was quite, because the flavour is really clear. Like really, it actually tastes like crab apple, like the rose hip. And I don't know whether I've consciously ever tried rose hip, but it's got a fragrant sweetness at the beginning I get, and then a little bit junipery, and then quite clearly crab apple, like on the nose, smell wise, it also smells like that. So it's not, I mean this in a good way, it's not subtle. Like, you know the flavour profile that you're tasting, which I think is quite hard with. I thought that was quite hard with apple. I don't know.
It is, but we put a lot in.
Right. Well, that that makes sense.
None of our gins are particularly subtle. They're all. I really love juniper, and one of our signatures is that it is really juniper led. Some more than others, but even the baseline, like the licorice, is a bit more subtle on the juniper than the rest of the range.
It's also clearly licorice. It's clearly a licorice gin as well. It's not liqueur-y. It's if you like, yeah, I always mean to tell people about your licorice gin, because if you like licorice and gin, ta-da!
It is a London Dry in style. There's nothing sort of added.
Yeah.
In licorice. We'll say that's probably the lightest in terms of juniper content that we go to, which is still a lot higher than probably a lot of others would use. I really love it, so we put a lot of juniper in. Tina, yes, the London Dry is very heavy on juniper.
Tina, I will bring this bottle with me to Sipfest next week, so you can all share it, and I'll just charge you like £1 a shot, so it's fine. Like, it'd be really low cost. Yeah, you can have some. We'll do some gin swaps at Sipfest, so I'll bring this bottle with me, because a heavy juniper gin will go down very, very well.
Yes.
So what made you go with rose hip and crabapple then?
I was trying to go first. Throughout the year, we started this year. We've tried doing seasonal, limited edition gins.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried to keep the ingredients relevant for those particular seasons.
Yeah.
The first one we did was a spring one, which was an elderflower and apricot.
Elderflower and apricot?
Yeah.
See, now that's exciting. I'm just going to stop you there, Paul, because bearing in mind the clarity of flavour of this rose hip and crabapple, like, that makes me go, okay, now I trust those. I trust that elderflower and apricot would have actually tasted like elderflower and apricot. Because sometimes you get stuff and you're like, what is it? Like, you're like, what is it again? Oh, okay. But you decide on your main botanicals, do you? And you want it to taste like that?
A little bit, yeah. Sam, thank you, Sam. I'm glad you liked it.
Does it need to come back, Sam? Do we need to start some sort of campaign, Sam? If you do, I'm in. There
are some left, but that's one that's probably not going to be done again. absolute pain to produce.
I feel apricots wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world.
We call it a double shot gin. So in the still, we added 5 kilos of dried apricots and 5 kilos of elderflower, and then after distillation, we then put the same amount of apricot and elderflower into the tank,
right,
to steep for about 10 days. So it took on a really lovely colour.
And it did, yeah.
But filtering it was a nightmare.
How do you filter? How many bottles did you make, or how many litres did you make?
Of that one, there was 175 bottles.
How big's your still that you made that on?
At maximum, like to top, it's a 300 litre, but we never put more than 150 litres in.
So how do you filter that then?
Through very fine mesh.
Please tell me you've got like a sieve the size of a borrower's thimble, and you're like,
No, it works on a vacuum. It's attached to the bottling machine.
oh.
So.
I was thinking your lovely wife, who's teetotal, is like filtering. I made damson gin the other day from the garden, and I'm like, oh God, through like the tiniest mesh thing in the world.
I did 200 litres through coffee. Well, when we first started, I used to do the licorice gin, the first edition of that. I did about 200 litres through coffee filters.
So you put your hours in. This is it. You've earned your International Spirits Challenge 2021 gold and your International Spirits Challenge 2021 bronze and others. You've earned them by hours like that. Yeah. Honing your craft.
Takes forever. We're not doing the elderflower and apricot again, I'll tell you that much.
So, well, that begs the question then. So these kind of seasonal limited edition ones. So how many bottles have you got again of the crabapple and rosehip, which is
100? Well, we started with 137.
How many have you got now? Whoa, everybody. Let's just pause a minute. How many have you got now?
Around maybe just under 100.
Right, I'm just going to check. Wait a second. So I've marked this as live. I'm going to do it now whilst we're talking. Then I've marked this as live in the shop because Lorna put it on. Oh my God, it's in draft. Wait a second. I'm putting it on now. Wait a second. I'm making it as active. Right, it's now on Sip and Share, everybody. Yes, you're right, Karen. Get ordering.
The summer limited edition went down really, really well. We imported 500 Sorrento lemons.
Now, that's not a joke, is it? Because someone did once joke with me that they told someone they imported 700 lemons, that sort of equivalent, and then they went, "Not really. It's got syrup in it."
No, we imported 500 lemons.
Oh my God.
Karen and others. I did a few, but I was struggling at that point. Peeled them all by hand.
No.
Yeah, to make sure that there was
enough for this.
To make sure that there was none of the white pith in it. We steeped the lemon peel in our base alcohol for 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
We
then added a simple syrup to that we made. Made limoncello.
Oh, I love limoncello.
We then took 75 litres of the limoncello and used that as our base alcohol to distill our summer gin. So we put the limoncello in the still with our gin botanicals and made a limoncello gin.
Have we missed out on a limoncello summer edition gin?
Well, it's kind of still there, but you didn't ask.
Right, well, if I knew that was the framework, bloody hell. Yes, please. Yeah, funnily enough, limoncello gin will go down really, really well. Don't worry, team. Don't worry. We're on it. Lorna, find it, get it. We're doing it. We're taking matters into our own hands, Paul.
That's fine. The winter one, which we've not done yet.
Right, sharpen up, Kate. Listen in. Let's go.
The winter one that we're not done yet is going to be pomegranate and cranberry.
Yes, it is. Correct. Lorna, I'm looking at Lorna because Lorna does my lovely admin for me. Lorna, tee it up. Pomegranate and cranberry. Just get it all ready. Even if it's image free for now, we're doing it. We're doing this again. We're doing this again with pomegranate and cranberry.
We're also in the middle of working on our 4 Navy strength gins.
Are you doing a Navy strength of each flavour profile?
Of each of the assay offices, yes. So we're doing a Navy strength gin to represent each assay office.
Each assay office?
Yeah.
As in London, Birmingham, Sheffield,
and Edinburgh.
What is that going to be like?
The Sheffield one is ours, but at a strength that me and my Stillman Roger really, really love. We know this because we've tried it. It's ready. We just need the labels.
Right.
The Birmingham one is...
label, no problem.
The Birmingham one is a coconut and lime, which represents the West Indies, because Birmingham was traditionally the port of trade for the West Indies. And the London one, we're still waiting to do that because Sicilian lemons aren't in season yet. So we're waiting for Sicilian lemons to come in so we can do a Sicilian lemon and black pepper gin.
Yes! So excited. Right,
to represent the trade with the East India Company and the Royal Navy. And the Edinburgh one we did last week. It's not bottled just yet, but that's a Scotch bun or black bun gin, which is what's consumed on Hogmanay. It's a bit like a Christmas cake wrapped in pastry, so it's got almonds, stem ginger, whiskey, raisins, and we steeped a lot of raisins in quite a lot of whiskey, and then added them into the still with things like allspice and all this kind of stuff. Cinnamon.
Do you accept visitors? Right, Donna is saying I can't buy anything. She's trying to buy your gin. She can't buy it. I'm on it. Oh, Lorna's already buying it. Lorna, you work with me. You're not supposed to buy it all. Lorna's bought a bottle of rose hip and crabapple. Lorna, please could you sort out Donna? Just check she's got the right code on her can. Are you accepting visitors?
We don't.
No, I'm joking.
We don't do tours as such. We're only tiny. We're in a 40 foot by 10 foot.
But you might do like an exclusive, like sip and chat. Like we just come and we like party and we drink and we,
That's fine. Yeah, we do private parties and things like that, so we can do tastings and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so we've got a date. We're going somewhere in November. Our first 2022 event. We're coming to Sheffield, and I want to sit and drink and see what's going on and hear about these upcoming equinox specials that you make. Is this what you do full time now, Paul, and have done for a while, or do you still do other stuff as well as magical gin things?
Still work at the pub.
Right.
Kind of. Trying to anyway. So it's a balance between the pub and the distillery at the moment.
And is it fair to say that in the pub you have an entire section of assay, gin and vodka?
Yeah.
Right, it's lit up.
Yeah.
Entire section of yours. So
we do a premix Negroni using our London Dry as well. So that's got a pride of place on there as well. Karen
Negroni
to Negronis in December. My original view of a shandy was like a pint of lager with a pork pie before December.
Karen, I can't wait to meet Karen. Karen's enlightening you on all these things.
Yeah, we started doing cocktail nights over Zoom in lockdown, and she's showed me all these wonderful ways of cocktails and things. And Negroni went down very, very well.
So you made I think I've seen this on social media. You made a pre-mixed bottle of Negroni.
Yeah.
All right.
You just need ice and a slice of orange. So.
We're gonna Lorna, whatever they've got on their website, Lorna, basically put on Sip and Share. We're just taking the matters into our own hands. This is what we're doing. Yeah, there's a lot of Negroni fans. Do you do the Negroni in a mini? I know you're in your kits.
Not currently, no.
Moment. Have you got a cocktail version of your like mini kits?
What do you mean?
Have you got any other cocktails that are pre-mixed? Is it just the Negroni, or is that
Just the Negroni at the moment. Size is our limiting factor. We don't have a lot of storage.
all right?
We have a lot of products, probably too many for the size that we are. With all the equipment and botanicals that we need, because we use proper ingredients as well, it takes up a lot of room.
Yeah. Well, I reckon, Paul, if you would be up for a group of, I mean, think. To be honest, think like Hendu, but with a really heavy gin theme, like gin experts kind of turning up with their social, with Instagram. I mean, we're basically like a total fucking nightmare, but it's really good fun. If you are up for us descending upon Sheffield and coming for tea at your pub, then I reckon there's going to be a lot of people that will be up for that.
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, Karen's commenting. I've forgotten about the other two things that we do.
Karen, thank God you're here.
Yeah, she's been at work all day. She's been behind the bar all day at the pub, and she's come to
Karen work at the pub.
Yeah.
So Karen knows what sells the best. Well, tell us what's the best seller of everything that you have in your, including the vodkas, actually.
It's between the rhubarb and custard and the St. Clements as a standard, throughout the year sales. The London Dry does sell pretty well. You'll probably know in the industry that the flavoured pink stuff will always sort of drag the eye.
Yeah.
But you'll always have your diehard gin fans that want a London Dry.
Those lot, or are they? Those lot over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I distill pork pies?
Yeah. Tina.
I don't know, but I can shove quite a few down.
Tina's positioned it as a joke, and Paul has taken it as a challenge. So that's dangerous. That's how things start. That's how people get into trouble.
I could definitely do a pork pie with gin in it. I could do that.
Now see my mind's going to the jelly that sits around a pork pie and how like a juniper jelly.
Yeah, although your jelly might not set, but
I think if you're at the point in the evening where you're up for like, yeah, sod it, I'll have a juniper pork pie. You're not too concerned about the like maybe the infrastructure associated with that pork pie. You're just thinking, oh, Tina, right? I'm just going to go back to Tina. Savoury gins. Now, this is a bugbear of mine, and I've said this to a few brands recently. Proper food and drink pairings, and say the kind of nod to savoury spirits. That's where Tina's going with this, because we nearly had an event with somebody earlier in the summer, which for lots of reasons didn't happen, unfortunately. But there is a definite market in food and drink pairings and the experience side of things, even if it was sweets, but like that curated experience bit. So what started as a joke about a juniper jelly and a pork pie is actually a market opportunity, I think. That's what I like.
There's a classic Italian recipe with pork chops and juniper. It's fantastic. You should
pork chop gin.
Well, maybe.
This is what I'm talking about. Paul, we're just going to brainstorm. When we come up to Sheffield, we'll be really annoying. We'll drink loads of gin. We'll have a really good time. We'll do loads of social media content and just, throw around some ideas like how you make a juniper jelly with pork pie. Could be the next big thing.
It may well be. It might be the future, like garlic bread.
Could be in Meadowhall. It could be there.
I'll not join you in Meadowhall, thanks.
A lead pop-up shop.
Hell on earth, that place.
Yeah, I know. Topped only by the Trafford Centre. Right. Anything anybody else needs to know about Sheffield Distillery before we let them get on with their Wednesday evening?
I mean, we still got to taste some stuff.
Oh yeah, I've drank it. It's really nice. That rose hip and crab apple. Everybody.
Roger, our still manager.
Roger! Making a batch of new. I just got to open this. No, I shouldn't open that. Currently steeping in the still. Which is your favourite then? I can't do a tasting of all this. It's a Wednesday night. This needs to be reserved. We need to get members involved and do this live. Let's get them all buying your tasting kit, because the tasting kits are on.
we both going London Dry, yeah?
What are you doing? Oh God, yeah. It's Wednesday, not me tea. I've just got in from swimming. Not me. I've not been.
Right.
Do you drink it neat?
Not necessarily out of the bottle, but yeah.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Woo! Well, seeing as we're now just chatting. Right, what's in that then? So you've not got a botanical list on here, and there's always a
No, we do list all our botanicals on our website. There are 18 in this one. And we have a ratio of 10:1 for our juniper. So for every 10 litres of liquid, there's a kilo of juniper.
How does that stack? No one's ever told me their ratio stats. I feel kind of empowered and enlightened. How does that compare to others? Do you know? What's the usual? I don't know.
I don't know.
You're just saying it's a lot. But does that feel like?
Well, I mean, you probably get through more in terms of products in the gin market than I do. In terms of the juniper hit, what do you think?
Junipery, proper gin. But it's really nice. So it's got a bit of Lucian, and you say that on all of the bottles, don't you? You reference that.
Yeah, that's down to the filtration. We don't chill filter anything.
So how do you? This is a genuine question because personally, I'm really comfortable with this, and I've talked to a few people about Lucian, louching, however you say it, and I'm like, I genuinely feel that people that know their gin, so that are paying a premium price point, understand. They know it, and it's clear. It's clear in the bottle. But you reference it, don't you? Or I've seen it. What have I just seen it on? Yeah,
we said that maintain not chill filtered to preserve flavour, maintain hazy when cold or when mixer is added.
So how do you feel about it? Are you like relaxed on it? Or were you, I guess what I'm saying was, are you bothered by the fact, or are you like, yeah, that we're happy with it as it is? Because lots of people worry about it, I've noticed.
We set up to do that straight from the beginning.
Right. Okay.
I don't see the point in putting the amount of botanicals in that we put in to then strip it all out.
Yeah.
By chill filtration. It just seems crazy to spend that amount of money on the ingredients in the first place, to then have to take all the flavors out.
It's very smooth, isn't it? It's not got any sort of like there's no moment.
All the gins come off our vodka, so our vodka's the base. It's where our sort of distilling style comes from. So slow distillation, take a very narrow cut. So all the sort of impurities we leave out. They don't go in.
Yeah.
And because we're now using a water heated system, we get a very, very clean. Well, we're getting a clean alcohol, but it's even more clean now. And it has a syrupy texture. It's just coats the palate.
Yeah.
It's not like because you use a pot still. It's not like a column still where you get lots of flavour but no texture. It's quite watery on the palate. Ours is really thick, got a full mouthfeel. That's our sort of signature style in terms of texture. All our spirits like that.
Has it all? I mean, was that by conscious design from the beginning then? Because you've said about the oils, and Tina said, yeah, it removes the oils. Agree, it's crazy to remove them. And those that know are happy with it and actually look at it and go, oh, that's a great thing, because you're going to get a really nice, smooth, rounded mouth feel. It's going to feel like there's a lot going on. But has it been like that from the beginning then? You just knew, after doing all these tastings, working in the pub, you knew, actually, we're going to make something that's going to loosh a bit, because it's full of oils, got so much juniper, got so much stuff going on. We are not going to cut that out, because some people in the market look at it. But you see it, right? You see it on groups. People go, my gin's fuzzy. Like, is there something wrong with it? And you want to like strangle them, but you can't, because that's.
Well, then they're quite happy to go to Greece and drink ouzo or raki or whatever, you know, and,
You're going to say something
or
else.
Pernod pastiche and add water to it and it goes cloudy. I think that's amazing.
Roger, right, Roger. So is Roger your business partner?
Roger's our still man. He does a lot of the donkey work now.
He's taken the matter into his own hands.
He does a lot of the stuff that I physically can't do anymore, like all the bottle cleaning, the watching the still, the cleaning the still, all the hard work.
Do you feel a bit, Paul? Do you feel a bit like, oh, I'm really sorry since the fire in the Como and the accident, I can't clean the still anymore. So good luck with that, Roger.
Yeah, a little bit. Roger does pick up a lot of the slack. I've got to be honest.
Navy Strength Sicilian Lemon Proper Gin.
Yeah, that's the London Hallmark series. Yeah.
When are these coming out?
Hopefully before Christmas.
Right.
We've got a bit of an issue with suppliers to the labelling people that we use.
That's just that seems to be the sentence of the quarter so far. We've got issues with labelling. If it's not bottles, it's labelling.
Yeah. So.
Yes, Tina. Good reaction. So you've got a lot of stuff going on then, and I presume you're selling in all of your farm shops and things like that, as well as selling on your own website, Master of Malt and all that jazz.
We're on Master of Malt. We're in sort of local farm shops and sort of specialist retailers. We're starting to get out there a little bit more.
Are you doing the pubs and the clubs and the restaurants and all that jazz?
Trying to, but a lot of pubs really. We're not sort of with many restaurants as yet. We do make Lavang restaurant in Fulwood, are sort of an Asian themed fusion curry house owned by a couple of brothers. And we make their gin for them.
Oh, nice. Oh, so you do contract distilling as well?
Yeah, that's our one contract distillation.
Yeah, we'll just be like, yeah, we contract distill gin and vodka all the time.
Yeah.
For these guys.
That's another award winner, fortunately. So that did all right.
Did they win an award? Was it your recipe or their recipe?
That's our recipe with their label. So yeah, it's
okay.
sort of a joint. They told us what they wanted, and then
yeah. Okay, well that's good to remember, and that's where there's a bit of money, right, in the contract distilling.
Oh really? We charge the same as what we do.
Right, I remember that. So I reckon we need to arrange a vodka tasting night and a gin tasting night. In fact, we could do a tasting night and people could buy either the vodka or the gin or both. And then come over and see you in Sheffield.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds like a plan, just need some dates against it. And I will take this. So we've got our Sip Fest event next week on Saturday. So Sip and Share lot, the 60 members who are coming, I will bring this with me. And it'll be like what's a good scene off a film, like a horror film, where they throw in this is going to sound really gross to anyone that just joins us now. Like they throw in like a body part, like someone's leg, and then all of the rats eat it. That's what it'll be like when I bring you gin.
Well, I'll tell you what, should we do a taster of the rosehip and a taster of the St. Clements before everybody goes?
Well, the rosehip I've just drank and it's all gone and it's absolutely delicious. So you can tell us about it. And the St. Clements is downstairs, I think. So you're good. Piranhas. Yes, Sam. Piranhas. That's what they're like. I call them gin monsters. Actually, I need to change to piranhas because I could just put the bottle. I could just imagine. I'll just put it in the room. They'll be like, now take turn, everybody. It's like a nursery. Take turns, everybody. You'll come back and the label will be ripped off. It'll be mayhem. So
if anybody can rip those off, come and help, because Roger ends up recycling bottles and trying to peel all the labels off by hand. So if anybody can manage it a lot easier than what we can, then please come and help.
So the rosehip's gone and it's bloody gorgeous.
Which is that one?
Clements. Yeah, rosehip and crabapple.
You didn't have a label, did you?
I didn't have a label, but Lorna has done a clever little thing, and she's got a picture of it off your website, like taken it and pasted it, and put it on. And again, if that's a sign of how your flavored gins, I actually don't like the term flavored gins, because I think it has a really bad reputation. I think it brings a lot of kind of negative connotation around it. But if that kind of cleanliness and clarity of the flavor matched with that mouthfeel is representative of everything, which it is with the licorice, because I said I've swigged that, then that's bloody good, isn't it? That's kind of my concluding sentence to that sentence.
So yeah, the one that's a bit of a, just going on the flavoured gin side of things, is St Clement's, that one.
Yeah.
It was entered in the flavoured gin category at the ISC. And it came out with the bronze, which is great, because it was in the top 90 worldwide award.
Yeah, it's casual, top 90 worldwide.
Which in a flavoured gin category it's huge. But it's actually a distilled gin. We just add a bit of colour to it. We don't add any flavour in afterwards.
Right. Well, here's the question. Why? So first of all, that's really interesting. And secondly, why add the colour?
We used to get natural colour when we used the little still. We used to get the natural orange colour coming off it. But after the incident and moving on to the big still, it comes out clear. So we just kept the.
Okay, so it's a consistency thing, but the colour doesn't add anything flavour-wise. No. All of the flavour comes out from the still.
Yeah, and in the still, what we do is we put fresh clementines, which we peel. So we use the fruit, we use the peel, and we also use the leaves and the stems. And it's the same with the lemons as well. To be fair, with the lemons, we just chop them up and chuck them in. So there's no wastage.
Yeah.
And there's no added flavouring afterwards. We get all the orange and lemon flavour from the fresh fruit that we put in the still at the beginning.
I'm going to drink that, not tonight, because that'll be me drinking 3 gins in one evening, and I would judge myself based on that. But make a video. Hey, maybe you could be my next viral TikTok. Now I've gone viral on TikTok with the Clement's gin.
Cheers.
Cheers. What percentage are they all, by the way?
We bottle at 45%.
Why? That's brilliant. And as a gin drinker, everybody goes, oh, thank God. Because I'll be honest, even though we don't say it, when someone presents me with a 37.5%, I can feel the looks of everybody looking at me. And I'm like, I know, I didn't make it. Don't go shouting at me about it. So why did you choose 45?
A lot of it is because of the experience working behind a bar in a pub.
Uh-huh.
And I'll have somebody coming up, ordering a gin. Now we're quite novel at commercial. We do 35ml measures, not 25s.
We are coming. We are.
But you'll have it where you'll give them the glass with their ice and the gin in and whatever garnish, and you'll put the bottle of tonic down. And the first thing you see is them picking the bottle of tonic up and emptying the bottle in.
No!
And it's like they've not even tasted it. They're not even giving it. For me, you should always taste the spirit in its raw form first.
Yeah.
And then make an educated decision on how much mixer it's going to need. And we just thought, do you know what? The amount of people that are having gin and tonics where they literally just cannot taste the gin must be out of this world. So we decided to bottle stronger, make the flavour really punchy, that it's really tough to drown.
Yeah, that's a good sentence, like for describing a gin. Like, I want to make a gin that's tough to drown. That's good. Yeah, I agree.
All our stuff is really tough to drown. The rhubarb and custard, it takes about a day to get it out of your system.
That sounds more like poison than it does a promise of a good gin.
Well, we use proper Madagascar vanilla pods for that. Like bourbon vanilla pods, we use the sort of like 9 inches long and quite fat, and we split them in half and steep them for a week. So
Oh my god. It's tough to drown. So yeah, so you just decided we're gonna go hard and go heavy at 45%. And it is to be fair though, to get a gin, because this is basically now I think it's about this much tonic and mostly gin, which is absolutely fine by me. You've obviously, I mean, you've won awards, so you don't need me to tell you, you know full well, but to get it that smooth, to get that nice mouthfeel, and to still be at 45%, you can taste a lot of stuff that's, oh, that's a good, I'm just going to interrupt myself with Karen's comment. Yes, Karen, that's how I felt about the rosehip and crabapple. Taste the gin through every cocktail, because I always worry with every single gin that I'm going to lose it the moment I put it in a cocktail. Like I have a nervousness around other flavored mixes and things, because I just think, oh, I really like the gin, so I'm going to be boring and stick with a gin and tonic. But I feel like it's going to stand strong, because not just the strength, but because the flavor profile, and that's how I felt when I was drinking the rosehip and crabapple. Like it's gonna stand up. It's not going to lose itself.
yeah, they're all fairly punchy and they stand up for themselves.
Is that like you?
I'd hate to be in a family feud with any of the gins, to be honest.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to make sure that all of the members know about these tasting packs. I think let's get an event date in. It's probably going to be January now. Or maybe in January this year, we did a gin and cheese evening. Maybe we could do a food and drink pairing with your gins, even just like a little fun thing.
I do have contact with a local cheese vendor from Sheffield.
Love the phrase cheese vendor. Yes.
So we can maybe do something that way. But
yes, this is me committing to doing that. Gin and cheese in January. My God, I can't believe it's been a year since we did the last one. It's ridiculous. With the gin tasting set, people can buy. Oh my God, Roger! Jesus, why don't you just show off?
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. Yeah, we decided that we were going to do a Navy strength. We were going to do it properly.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Of course you did. Because 57.5% is not good enough. So we're just going to go with 61.5%. Karen. Yes. Karen, is that to 61.5% or the gin and cheese? Because I reckon knowing you're in for both of them.
I do like the fact that you know that the original Navy strength was 57% before they lowered it to 54.5%.
Say that again.
The original Navy strength was 57%. But then the Navy did some research to what alcohol was actually optimal for still being able to light gunpowder, and it turns out it was 54.5%. So they lowered it to 54.5%.
I don't think I've ever seen a 54.5%.
Well, Puss's rum is 54.5%.
Oh, so people are still kind of marketing wise making it a 57.5%.
That was the original strength.
Yeah. Okay.
But we decided to take that and sort of kick it in the touch a little bit.
You were like that. I'm just going to go with 61.5%. Oh my God, I can't wait to do it. So you're going to do a Navy tasting set. Are you going to do a Navy tasting set?
Yes.
Say yes. Just say yes.
There's a set of 4 miniatures, 5 CLs in the pipeline. Again, we're just waiting on lemons and
labels.
Lemons and metallic foil for the printing. That's what we're waiting on.
Lemons and metallic foil. It sounds sexy if you say lemons and labels, so I'm going to go with that.
Welcome to Brexit Britain, folks.
I've heard that a few times. Oh my goodness. Donna, make sure the gunpowder goes off. Right.
I've actually done that. I've actually tried alcohol with gunpowder, and it does work.
Okay, you need to save some of these tricks up your sleeve for when we come and see you. I think a dinner and gin tasting, 61.5%. Jesus, can you imagine a tasting set at 61? There's 4 minis in this set. 4 or 5 centilitres. They're all 61.5%. Tell you what, my lot, that's what they used to. Not the percentage, but they're like, we're in it. We're in it to play. We're not messing. We're doing
I
it
struggle to
properly.
get the gunpowder, I think.
Yeah, let's not send that through the post. Let's not add that as a kind of a here's a mini pouch of gunpowder to your mixer and your gin. I don't know. I think that's just treading on slightly dangerous waters.
We've had enough fires. Thanks very much.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to tell. Oh God, I can feel the legal complaints from here. No thanks. Right. I'm going to tell everybody, and Lorna will do a great job of this. Lorna, please could you share in the Facebook group the gin mini tasting set? In fact, all the tasting sets that we've got on. We know that she's done it. Look at her. She's like a legend. And we will Donna, we'll get your account sorted because you need to buy this. You need it in your life. And I'll bring the London Dry to Sip Fest. There you go, my face-to-face promise. If I don't drink it all between now and next week. No, I won't. Right, Paul, go and be safe. Don't do any fires, any events, anything like that. Let Roger deal with all of that and the cleaning.
No, I need Roger to be safe, to be fair, because we can't do with two of us out of the mix.
True. Yes. Yeah, the way you make this stuff is a little bit mysterious to me, which I like. And so, we need you to stay in business. What's the name of the pub, by the way, in Sheffield?
The Commercial Inn.
The Commercial Inn.
Yeah.
The Commercial Inn in Sheffield. Okay, so everyone needs to Google that, and we will come and find an Airbnb near the Commercial Inn, descend upon you, and you'll regret it for the rest of your working life. It'll be fun.
I'm sure we'll have a fantastic evening.
We will indeed. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Wednesday evening. And we'll say bye. We'll see you soon.
Very much.
Bye.
See ya.